In this video, I want to talk about basically what I think holds us back from what we want and what keeps us stuck where we are versus where we want to be. Really, what it boils down to is our conditioned mind, our habitual mind, or our egoic tendencies, if you want to call it that. Because usually there's a certain thought, there's a certain belief, and there's a certain action that precedes and or is correlated with a certain end result. So that means if you want that certain end result, chances are you need the preceding thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Some more than others, and it depends on the situation, but in most cases you need some alchemy of the three. So basically, if that requires you to get outside of your habitual state of mind. So for example, if you want to be a millionaire, but you've been broke your whole life, and everyone around you has been broke, and everyone around you has told you that having money was bad, then obviously, you know, to be a millionaire, you're going to have to go outside of your habitual mind, because if you want to see your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs, you can just kind of take a look around in your world, because that's just really reflecting that back to you. So usually what you want is outside of, you know, your conditioned mind or your habitual mind, because if it wasn't, chances are you already have it. Meaning, you know, if you thought yourself to be worthy and deserving of a certain thing, chances are you already have it. So if you don't, chances are you probably don't believe that, or you haven't taken the action to make that happen, or you haven't allowed it, or you haven't even just put your attention on it. So it's usually meaning that whatever we want, if we don't already have it, it's going to require a change in thought, a change in belief, and a change in action. And sometimes you can just bypass thought and belief and just go for action. And then some people just get stuck in thought and belief, but don't ever take action. And you have to do all of them. But I think action is usually the most important. Because, you know, you can think the greatest thoughts in the world, have the greatest beliefs in the world, but if you're just sitting on your couch, living your same routine every single day, it shows that A, you don't really believe it, because if you really believed it, you would be doing it, and B, you're not moving towards it because you're not actually taking action to do it. And usually just figuring out what you want, figuring out, you know, getting clear about it and getting the thoughts and the beliefs in line is most of the work. And then actually taking a little bit of the action, it usually doesn't take quite as long as it seems like it would in our head. So there's another saying that says, like if you want what you've always had, keep doing what you've always done. If you want something different, you're going to have to do something different. Which is basically what I'm saying here, is that usually what we want, if we don't already have it, is going to require a change in our thoughts, a change in our habits, a change in our daily actions. Because if we want to be happy, but we spend all of our day thinking about things that make us depressed, because that's what we're habituated and conditioned to do, then we're not really ever going to be happy. If we want a happy relationship and we're single and we're lonely, and we spend all of our time just being single and lonely and doing the things that we do when we're single and lonely, we're not ever going to actually get past that and meet someone and get into like a loving relationship. So it's usually, what holds us back is just our conditioning and our habits, and just it's kind of like a prison almost. It's like an invisible prison that we have, where, you know, the universe is infinite. There's so many possibilities around us all the time, but we're just locked into some idea that we got based on some time in the past. Maybe, I don't know, it's a good example. We don't think that we can be successful at something because when we were 6 years old, we did something and we were really excited, and we went to someone and they were like, "Ooh, check this out, look what I did," and they were like, "Oh, that's stupid, leave me alone." So then at the time we associated, you know, pain with the event of doing something and trying to do something. So we took the pain and we associated it with the event of, you know, me doing something, you know, successful or achieving something. We put those two together. So in the back of our mind, when we think of, you know, doing something or achieving something or moving towards a goal, that feeling of pain comes up. Whether or not we even realize why or how or understand the context or the association, it's there. And it might even be at an unconscious level, because usually what happens is we lie to ourselves most of the time. We don't admit to ourselves the truth of how we really feel and how we really think and what we really want. Not only do we lie to ourselves, but as a pre-token is we're just so out of touch with even paying any attention, because our attention is always on the external world, always on what does she think, what does he think, what does the TV say, what does the music say, what does the magazine say, what does my job say, what does my boss say. All the time. It's always outside of us. It's always other things, other people, and we never take the time to actually sit down and pay attention to ourselves and learn how to feel ourselves, learn how to listen to our own body, learn how to listen to our own mind, learn how to listen to our own just gut, learn how to just pull the energy out of this little area here, and actually remember that we have a body, we have a gut, we have a heart, we have feet on the ground, which I can pretty much guarantee that the majority of the time people have no idea about any of these things. Even right now, you probably have no idea about what your left big toe is doing. You weren't even noticing. You were probably up here somewhere. You were just totally had your visual cortex, which is taking over everything. And when you can just shut that off, you automatically get a huge amount of energy, because I think visual cortex takes 90% of our energy. So you take that 90% that's always going in this external world, combine that with neurotic, egoic tendencies of, ooh, I wonder what they're going to think. Ooh, I wonder if I did that right. Oh, I did that wrong. Or, oh, how can I get this from this person? Or how can I make this from that person? How can I get this to resolve this? So it's you could take that, combine that with all these egoic thought patterns, combine that with our physical processes that we have to keep up with, combine that with our just day-to-day responsibilities of paying the bills, working, taking care of our family, relationships, interacting with people. And then you have pretty much the whole day gone, plus sleeping and bathing, the basic stuff. You have the whole day gone, consumed on what? On nothing that has anything to do with our self or our truth or how we really feel or what we really want. So it's no wonder that people don't get what they want, because they don't even know. They don't even have any kind of acuity to what's going on in the body. And when I say they, I don't mean there's this group of people out there and I'm somehow better than they are because I have this awareness. What I mean is that I'm speaking from my own experience, because that's what's registered on my nervous system. That's what I've experienced, and I'm just using that as a reference because I can remember, the majority of my life, how I felt, how I behaved, what I believed versus how I feel and behave and think now, and I can see the difference, and then I can see where I was, and then I can look out in the world and see where other people are, and see that they're sometimes a very similar situation, and then correlate the two and understand where they're at, and then based on experimentation of testing hypotheses, testing theories, testing strategies and ways of interacting with people, I can add validity and say, oh, well, I was right on this, or oh, I was totally way off on that. So I just wanted to clear that off, that way I don't sound presumptuous or condescending, because that shit is just annoying and lame, and I don't ever want to come off like that. Let me check the time here. Yeah, so anyways, I have no more time, so there's just a lot of stuff I wanted to get out. I know it's a lot of food for thought, but hopefully it's been beneficial and valuable. It's been fun for me. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.